Everybody have this at home practice, right? And hopefully you did most of the question this weekend. Any questions stand out to you are very difficult that you want me to show everybody? Nothing stand out, everybody seems normal. Okay. On the test, we will give you particular formula that you will need. May not be all the formula, but I'm just going to give you the one that you probably need for the exam. But I want you to have the handouts with all the formula and the units and look through them. Get yourself familiar with the informations because you are going to need that knowledge to help you with the exam 3. This is one of the handouts that you want to have some idea what everything means, some of the units to measure different distance and weights and stuff, because I may have multiple choices and ask you what would be appropriate to use. Say measure a young child's weight or like a dog's weight would be what. You may want to have some idea about information on these handouts, and also this handout is two, you want to familiar with the information in case it come up as multiple choices questions, you will be able to pick the correct choice. How big are certain units? What do we use to measure certain things? So if we look at the very last few questions, let's look at those first. And if we are looking at number 19 to 23, those questions probably will come in multiple choices, and you have to pick the appropriate measurements for those certain things you're measuring. So if you look at here, the number 19 asks you about the appropriate units to measure the length of a laptop. What do you think that would be? Can you give me some idea what you can use to measure the length of a laptop? That would be on your test, I'm pretty sure. Like, it may not be laptop, maybe a notebook or a cup or something. What would be appropriate to measure length really, really big? If we are using a ruler, what is on that ruler? Inches would be good. Can you give me one from the metric system similar to inches? On the ruler, remember? Centimeter. This could come in as, how about the appropriate units to measure the weight of a child or a cat or a dog? Pounds would be good. How about the other type of units? Kilogram probably good. Or you can call this kg. How about the appropriate units to measure a car? Tons, yeah. For the other one, probably still going to be kilogram. I don't think they have more bigger than that, so it's just going to be a bigger number. Okay, so we are looking at the at-home practice. This one is the last few questions. So number 22, the appropriate units to measure distance between Dallas and Commerce. So this is a longer distance, miles, or centimeter would be too small. It's going to take a long time. Can you find something a little bit bigger? This is going to be centimeter. The next unit will be what? Meter. Meter is still pretty small, like meter is less than my height. So what is the next unit? Start with kilometer. Remember that story with the king? So it's km for the shortcuts. Remember King Henry danced merrily down the center main, so the K is the biggest one. What is the appropriate units to measure the capacity of a gas tank? Remember capacity is kind of wet type of units. A gas tank would be, remember, gallons, gallons per miles, right? That's what we normally use, gallons here. What is the other units? Okay, you guys keep saying meter. Meter is for length. No, that's too small. The next would be gallon. Huh? Liter. Okay. So you know some of the drink is in gallon, right? But some of them may be in liter. So liter is a little bit smaller than gallon. Number 19 to 23, everybody get the answer. It will be on the test, I'm serious. It's going to be multiple choices. You need those answers. Quickly, write down. We're going to move on. We also talk about different type of triangle and quadrilateral. Remember we have that handout. Everybody have that handout about quadrilateral and triangles. Everybody have those handouts? Because I'm not going to write down everything out, but we expect you to know it. The inside angle of triangle is going to add up to how many degrees? The inner angles, 180 degrees. How about quadrilateral? The inside angles of the quadrilateral is going to add up to okay, remember we did that. We have a quadrilateral. We can cut it to two triangles, right? So it's two triangles. It's going to add up to what? 360 degrees. And for triangle, we have different types. What are the different types? If they don't have any side equal to each other, we said that's what kind of triangle? Scaling triangle. Make sure you know how to spell it. And on the test, if you want to make sure people know all three sides are the same, you can say the line segment AB does not equal to BC, does not equal to AC. Because sometimes you guys draw something look kind of similar on the lane, so I cannot tell. And we also have two sides, they are the same. So if that two sides of the triangle are the same, we call those what? Isosceles triangle. So you can show that two of the sides are the same, and you can name them A, B, C. So line segment AB equal to AC, and their base angle would be the same, right? Facing the congruent line. So this is your handout from the past. How about all three sides are the same? We call those equilateral, and then you can say A, BC, so line segment AB equal to BC equal to AC, right? And because all the sides are the same, which also means all the angles are the same. And if all the angles are the same in the triangle, each one would be 60 degrees, okay? Because you use 180 divided by 3. And we also have triangle. You guys are looking for that handout. It's for the two-dimensional graph handouts. And we also have basing on the angle. So if you have a wide angle, we call those what? The triangle with one wide angle is wide triangle, ABC equal to 90 degrees. If acute triangle, they have to have what? Acute triangle has to have all of their angles what? Acute triangle less than 90 degrees. An obtuse triangle, one of the angle need to be greater than 90 degrees, meaning it's going to be an obtuse angle, right? Are we okay? And we also talk about the different type of quadrilateral. We have, if I say this shape have exactly one set of parallel line, that kind of shape is a quadrilateral with only one set of parallel line. What is it? That's the question. You're like, what is it? Just one set of parallel line. Quadrilateral means four-sided shape with only one set of parallel lines. Trapezoid, and then you can use this to represent parallel line with two sets of parallel lines only. That's the only thing they have, and it's a quadrilateral. We call those two sets of parallel lines. Parallelogram, so nothing else, just two sets of parallel lines. And then the next one would be they are quadrilateral but have four wide angles. That's the only rectangle, because they didn't say it's going to be all same length or like other things, right? How about four sides are the same? Quadrilateral. Quadrilateral with four same sides is a rhombus. And then two sets of adjacent sides are the same. Quadrilateral, we call those kites. And what makes something a square? Square has to have, describe what a square is. It has to have the four sides are congruent, is a quadrilateral. That make it a rhombus also. But what make that a square? They also have to have, which means each one is 90 degrees. So they have to be 90-degree angle, quadrilateral, and then all four sides are the same. Okay, so make sure you review those. That would be one of the questions here, 17 and 18. All right, so what is tessellation? Some of you are not paying attention. Like, you're gonna miss a lot of this question. Like, I don't know why on the test. Like, this happen a lot, and those are pretty easy questions if you just review the definition. Like, so you need to pay attention to this. What is tessellation? It will be on the test. What makes something tessellate? I have an activity. I'm hoping you did it at home. It's the little quadrilateral thing. We're supposed to cut it and tape it and fill out the empty space. What's the definition of tessellation? What makes something tessellate? Definition of tessellation is what? It's for sure 100% going to be on your test. A figure or combination of figure, what? It's not over. it's not the whole definition. So you're going to have a figure or combination of figure and do what? Okay, you're kind of missing the middle part. So I'm thinking I have some figures and combination of figure. What are they doing? So say I'm using this or something, and then I'm doing what? This is figures. What am I doing with the figure? What does it mean combining? Okay, so, and then what? So it's a repeating process. So when you have a shape, you just keep repeating it and see if you can fill up the space with the shape given to you. So I can have a combination of figure like this and create some kind of patterns, but in the process I'm repeating those shapes. I need to have no gap and no overlapping. That make it tessellation. Are we okay? It's going to be on the test. And remember, we have that activity. If you need some more information, maybe finish that activity. So hopefully it stick with you a little bit more. So the definition of tessellation is that it's created when a shape is repeated over and over again. It covers some kind of space without any gaps and overlapping. So a lot of time, like tile on the floor or the ceiling tile, they will cover the whole space. That is tessellating. Or the triangle will tessellate, or the quadrilateral will tessellate because they can fill in the 360 degree. Okay, so tessellation means that. So again, those are from your handouts from the geometry content, so you have to look through them and review them. Okay, after that we also talk about translations, rotations, and reflections, and what are the keywords of them. How are we going to remember them? Translation is sliding, reflection is flipping, so I remember that the SL here to give me a slide, FL here make it flip, and rotation is turn. So I may give you 4 pictures and I will ask you which 2 are translation, which 2 will make reflection, which 2 will make rotation, something like that. So I'm going to put 1 here. So if I call this 1 and 2, the top 2 is doing what? These 2 pictures doing translation, rotation, or reflection? Translation, because it's just slide down here, right? Are we okay? Just slide here, or can slide down. And if I'm looking at these 2, it's a flipping, right? So it look like this and flip down here, so it's considered as reflection, sorry. And then if I have these 2, it's considered as turning, so it's rotation. Do we have a question? So translation, reflection, rotation. Questions? Study, okay? I'm very nervous about it, so I hope you will do well. We want you to do well on exam 3 and move on to the final, but to be honest with you, usually students score the lowest for this because of the geometry stuff. Are we okay with this? So make sure you study the units. You may have some multiple choices question. Make sure you understand the tessellation definitions and translation, rotation, reflections, and all the triangle, all the quadrilateral. Like it has a lot more topic for geometry, but we try to narrow it down to the one that we think is most important for you. So please make sure you study them. All right. So are we ready to invite people to come out to show us some of the questions? If you haven't signed up, you just come in. You can go ahead and sign up if you want to. I'm gonna leave the question up here, and then before you show people, you can like show them here. So number one is going to be a bunch of graph, right? Somebody want to come and show us what they have and let other people know what they have to pay close attention to.
The first question, I'm gonna read it out loud. It says the first grade students like different colors. 5 students like green, 2 students like red, 8 like black, 5 students like blue. So I'm gonna be doing number 1, letter A, which is a pictograph. We have a lot of numbers, so we're gonna put it into a graph, well, a pictograph actually. And we're gonna start with our title. I need to label it, which is colors first grade students like. Putting a title is important because that's how we know what are we like sorting things out and what is the graph is gonna be about. And then we have 5 students like green, 2 students like red, and 8 like black, and 5 students like blue. So we put this information into a graph, and because it's a picture graph, we're gonna be using symbols or different like pictures. I decided to use a smiley face, but you can use like hearts, stars, or different type of pictures. And decide I put that a smiley face equals 1 star, 1 student, so we can see that a smiley face is a student. So here, the question, as we see, it says that 5 students like green. So I put 5 smiley faces in the green category, and under it I put 5 students. So I could see that there's 5 students. Afterwards, it says that there's 2 students that like red. So in the red category, I put 2 smiley faces because it means 2 students, like it says here. And it continues to say that there's 8 students that like the color black. So in the category of black, I put 8 smiley faces. And it says that 5 students like blue. So I put 5 smiley faces in the blue category. We need to remember that it's better to draw our shapes in the same sizes so we can show that it's like this, like it's the same. So we don't want like different, like a smiley face to be bigger or smaller. We want it to be like in the same shape. We also need to include what the categories are gonna be about. So I included the here in the bottom that is gonna be colors. And here, as we see, I put 5 students chose green, 2 students chose red, 8 students chose black, and 5 students chose blue. And this is my explanation for question 1, letter A.
Okay. So I like she has a clear title. She labeled her data. She put the number at the bottom. You don't really have to, but if you put it down there, it's not wrong either. So this is from like an old exam that's what student did. So very similar. The student also say 1 equal to a smiley face. So make sure like they are evenly spaced out. Make sure all the smiley face about the same size. Like she said, that would be kind of the key. So she point out some of the key information that everybody need to do. When I grade your homework, a lot of time you forget the title or labeling the data, or the data like one is smaller, one is bigger. So those are the things you want to improve on the test. Okay, who's ready for B?
Okay, so I'm doing 1B, and in the question we know that we're looking at the first grade students and the different colors they like. So we know 5 students like the color green, 2 students like the color red, 8 students like the color black, and 5 students like the color blue. So now we have to draw that out in a line plot. So first, we have to give the line plot a title. And so the title I picked was first grade students and the colors they like. And then we can draw out the plot. But then we have to label on the side that we know that this is the number of students that we're accounting for. So then we can label the different colors. We can put green, red, and black, and blue. And then in the contrast from a pictograph here, in a line plot, they are X's instead of pictures. So in the green, I put 5 X's. In the red, I put 2 X's. And in the black, I put 8. And in the blue, I put 5.
Very good. I want to add one more thing, so don't forget to label your color here also. Okay. Yeah. All right. After that will be perfect. Thank you. Yay. Sorry, forgot. We're short on the time, so I'm kind of nervous. All right. Let's see what we have for the next 2 parts, which is the frequency table and yes, go ahead.
I did 1C, which is the frequency table.
You may have to speak a little bit louder.
Okay. We were given the colors green, red, black, and blue. So first we have to tally that. So since there's 5 green, we put 5 tallies, 2 red, so 2 tallies. And then it was 8 black, so 8 tallies, and blue, 5 tallies. And then for the frequency, you just put the number of tallies for each one. And then to find the percentage, you have to do part divided by whole times 100% to get it. So then we did 5 over 20 times 100, which equals 25%. 2 over 20 times 100, which equals 10%. 8 over 20, which equals 40%. And 5 over 20, which equals 25%. And then if you add those all together, it should equal 100%. So kind of going off the so going off from the frequency table, when you do a pie chart, you want to go based off the percentages of the frequency table. So we see how green is 25%, red is 10%, black is 40%, and then blue is 25%. So when you put it in here, you want to label what color is what, and based on, so for black, I shade in 4, which makes 40, and then because green and blue, they're the same percentage, you just want to make sure that that you shade in the correct amount of lines, and then red is 10%, so in total you should have 100% pie graph.
Okay. So one thing I want to add, don't forget to put the title. Okay. And when I was grading this for the homework, some of you just put the color, but you didn't put the percentage. Make sure you put both. Okay. If it can fit in the graph, you can label inside the graph. If not, you can do an arrow and point where it's supposed to belong to. Okay. All right. Thank you. Oh, are you doing number 2 also?
Oh no, it's Angela.
Angela, sorry, cannot read. Okay, so number 2, we're going to need to find mean, median, and mode from this set of data. Make sure you explain how you found them and show us the steps.
Okay, for number 2,
Can you speak a little bit louder? Okay, you guys need to stop talking so we can hear.
So for number 2, what we're trying to find first will be the mean. And the mean is just basically adding up all of the data. And here I forgot to add another 30 and the 40. And divide it by the number of data. So we have 9 numbers. And that will give us 195, and we divide that by 9. That will be 21.67. The next part we're trying to find will be the median, and that would be just the middle number. And for that, we can just use our fingers and just do this for every number until we find the one that's in the middle. And that would be 21. The mode is the most occurred number, and for that we can see here that would be 12 and 30. So we can just put both in there. And for range, it's just basically subtracting the greatest number and the smallest number, and that would be 29. It would be 40 minus 11, 29.
All right, very good. Thank you. So I see she automatically put them in order, which is probably a good practice for this type of question, and also the one with the 5-number summary and box and whisker, because eventually some part you're going to need them in order. So I would highly recommend you doing that. And I would suggest doing it like that also, causing a number when you put them in order, because when I grade your homework, some of you missing a number here, missing a number there. So that happens a lot. So once you put them in order, make sure you double check those numbers are correct and you have all of them. I like you have all the steps for each one, so which is important. For this particular question, there is a number in the middle, so that's your median, right? But if you have 2 numbers in the middle, then what do you need to do? You need to average the 2. And I'm not sure why, but when you do your median, and if you're using your finger, just do it slowly. And some of you like seems to count it wrong, so just like make sure you pay attention to that. And this particular question have 2 set of number repeated, so you have 2 modes. But if none of the number is repeating, then you have no mode. And the range, like she say, you use the biggest number, subtract the smallest number. Are we okay? So make sure you show all the steps and kind of explain how you get it. Otherwise, you will not get full credit for this. All right. Anybody doing the next one? No, it's me. Okay. All right. So the next, anybody want to do number 3? If not, I'm going to do it. Okay. Number 3, if you need to put together a box and whisker with a set of number, what is the first step? You need to put them in order. So this is from an old test. This student put the number in order. After we put that in order, how do you find that 5-number summary?
It's smallest number.
You found the smallest number, which is easy. Greatest number.
The median.
And then we go median. So let me do it slowly with my finger. It looks like in the middle is between.
7 and 8.
So the median should be
7.5.
7.5, and you found the average. So because there's no number in the middle, meaning this is the first half and this side is the second half, right? So to find the lower quartile, we look at the first half and do what? You use it to find the median from the first half. That's your lower quartile. Anybody have question how to find lower quartile? It was a little bit messy on the homework. Yes.
So whenever there's 2 medians, we're allowed to use.
So this is half and this is half. But if you have like something like this, then you skip that number. So this is 4 here and 4 here. So it'd be equal. And this one you have 5 here and 5 here. Like that. Okay, so on the other half, we also found the median, right? So the median is 11. This is your upper quartile. So now you have the 5 number, right? So once you have the 5 number, how do you build that box and whisker? You need a number line. So some of your number line has problem. Like you will start with 5 and then like 20 or something. So each marking need to be evenly spaced with the number. So for this particular one, it's like 1 unit each, right? So very likely your test one will ask you to do 1 unit each like that. Spread it out, because some of you have like 10 is so tiny. So it's very hard for me to see if you put it correct or not. So once you have a spread out number line, give it a title again. Don't forget your title. Don't forget to label those numbers. And then you put 5 points for your 5 number, right? But also label them. Say this is the largest number, 15, this is the smallest number, 3, and this is median, 7.5, this is lower quartile, 6, this is upper quartile, 11. So put those 5 points, but also label them. Once you have the 5 points, how do you build the box and whisker? Okay, you have 5 points. What else do I do? When you just have the 5.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, how do you build a box and whisker? Okay, you already have the number line, you already label everything. Like now you have the 5 points.
You have to identify each, like the smallest number.
Yes, you do. And then how do you put together just the box and whisker part?
You connect your first and last two.
The first two number, like the smallest and the lower quartile, the upper quartile, and the biggest number, and then
you do your box.
A box in the middle,
And then the line, the median.
the line on the median,
And you
shape half of the box. So, but it doesn't mean each part is going to be equal size, okay? It just each part represents 25% of the data, but that's how you build a box and whisker. Are we okay? All right. Anybody want to do number 4? Number 4, John coming? Come on. Okay, I'm going to read the question for him. So number 4, he's supposed to use the data to put together stem and leaf. Is that what you want to do? That's 4A. Yeah, probably should do 4B because the histogram has a little bit problem on the homework. Okay, let's try.
So let's focus on 4A for a bit. So in the question it says, use the following data, which are the midterm exam grades for math class. So you have to put the title here for, and then the numbers that was provided. Then you have to do a draft, right? Typically, you don't have to put the numbers here in order just yet. And for stem and leaf, these go by tenths. So we have the lowest number that we have is 60, and the highest one that we have 97. So for 60, we have 63, 69, and then 60. Remember, this is a draft, so you don't have to put it in order, but conveniently, some are already in order. For the 70s, we have 72, 75, and for 80s, we have 80, 84, 90s, we have, where is it? 90, 93, and 97. Now, we have to put the draft numbers in order. Of course, remember, you have to put the title here, stem and leaf. In order, it's going to be 60, 63, 69, 72, 75, 80, 84, 90, 93, and 97. So that is the part for stem and leaf. Now we're going to have to move to histogram. Again, you don't have to put the numbers in order. Put the title, math midterm exam grades for a math class if you would like. I don't know why I didn't write that. So first, write the grades, 60 to 69, 70 to 79, 80 to 89, 90 to 99. Now tallies. What I usually do is count the numbers that we have here. So for example, 63, 69, 0 would be 3 tally marks, 2 tally marks, 2 tally marks again, and lastly 3 tally marks. For frequency, for frequency, you just have to count the tally marks. In total, they're both P10. Now then, for the hardest part, for me at least, is the histogram. I already have the title, but if you'd like to make sure, write the title for this part of it.
Write one more time.
Yeah. So, I don't know why I didn't do that again, but write the title twice. So, first off, we know that the highest one is 3. Wait, my bad.
You're fine.
So the highest number here would be 3 for the amount here. So 3 would represent the frequency, and in this case it's the number of students, right? Yeah, number of students. So it'd be 3. I'm not sure why I'm repeating myself, but now for the bottom part, it'd be 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Now, why 100? Well, that's the limit here, or 90 to 99.
It's okay.
Yeah, I guess.
It's correct.
And so, part of the histogram, where most people would just sometimes do it wrong, like I was. But first, you gotta put 60. 60 is where you start. 60 to 70. How much is that? 3. Now 70 to 80 would be 2. 80 to 90, 2 again. Lastly, 90 to 100, again. 100 would be the final one because it makes sense, would be 3.
All right. So hold that here just for a second. So I like a lot. It's very clear. This was quite messed up on the homework, so I'm a little bit worried. I would add one thing. So besides, he really need a title for this graph. Make sure you start with 0 for the vertical number. You're fine. And then because he's starting at 60, so I'm going to put a squiggly line here, meaning it's starting from 60, because none of my data is below 60. I like he has his bar about the same width. This is the proper way to do it. He's basically using histogram to represent each bar with a range of data. So a lot of you mess up how to put the data at the bottom for the histogram. So one of the trick I use is like, you can see this is like your grade is D, right? This is C, this is B, this is A. So you can use this first number 60, go to 70. This number is 80, go to 90. Naturally, the next one will be 100. So this bar represents 60 to 69, 70 to 79, etc. So that's how you will build a histogram. The difference between histogram and bar graph is bar graph have individual bar. They don't touch each other. Each bar represents one type of data. But histogram, each bar represents a range of data. So this represents 60 to 69 to make it correct. Any question about histogram? That's one of the things I'm most worried about for this test after grading the homework. Any questions? All right. Thank you, sir. Okay. All right. Is it me? Or somebody's coming? Okay, 4B is that, oh, that's the frequency table. So let's look at the next question. The next question is a little bit different, right? They give you a, what do we call those? Box and whisker, which means each part represents how many percent of data? 25% each. How many students is that representing? 36 students. If each part is 25%, then each part represents how many students? Each 25% represent how many students? How do we find 25% of 36? We did that in exam 2. Divided by 2, it's not divided by 4, sorry. Divided by 4 is going to be 9 students. Okay, so which means each section represents 9 students. What is the lowest score here? 65. What is the median? 80. And what percent of students, notice they say percent, score between 70 and 100? How many percent here? 3 section will be 75%. Are we okay? Because it's 25, 25, 25, right? Altogether will be 75%, which is the same as how many students? 3 sections. You have 9 and 9 and 9. Together we have 27 students. Are we okay with that? So this part was 25 plus 25 plus 25, 3 section, right? This part is 9 plus 9 plus 9, right? So that's how we get 27 students. How many students score 90 or above? So 90 is here. Above mean how many percent, first of all? 25% is 9 students. Oh,
it's 90 or lower.
I'm sorry, say it again. Oh, lower, sorry. So thank you for reading it correctly. So lower mean how many percent? 75%, which is the same as 27 students. Thank you for pointing it out. Question for this? Are we okay? All right, how about the next question? Nobody want to do it? If nobody do it, I will do it. Okay, so you are given the pie graph. So this is the pie graph. Which category is the largest source of revenue? That you should be able to answer now. Which one is the largest? Taxes, okay. If the total revenue is $53 million, how much money did we get from the federal source? I want to know how much money. So federal source give us how many percent? What did you say? 20.3%. And the total amount is 53 million. So I want to find 20.3% of this amount, right? How do I find that? Of mean what? Normally, what kind of operations? We did that in exam 2. When you have something of something, what kind of operation do we do? Multiplications, okay? And the percentage need to convert to decimal, which will be, say it again, 0.203 times 53 million. Somebody have a calculator? Or did you do that at home? No? Better practice between now and Wednesday. It's going to be, okay, some of you need to do. Say it again. 10,759,000. Okay, thank you. So it's going to be 10,759,000 is what they get from the federal source. Are we okay? So we're using the pie charts to find the answer based on the information given to us. Question for this. Okay, number 6. Is this number 7? Is there a number 7? Okay, I'm going to do number 7 because it would take a long time. So we kind of asked you to practice one at home last time. So this one is a double line graph. Double line graph is good for comparing two sets of data over a period of time. So other things also good for that, maybe double bar graph. They are also good for comparing two sets of data over time. Are we okay? So when you do a graph like this, make sure you have the appropriate title. I'm going to say it's going to be the population prediction between 2000 to 2030. And I am going to have a graph, try to spread them out as much as I can. I have the title. I should label my information here. It's going to be populations. This one say they are in million. And it looked like the smallest number is 590. The biggest one is 4,100. So I try to use whatever space I have to spread them out as much as I can. So this is 0 to 4,500. This is for the regions. I only have 3 regions there. So I am going to put the 3 regions, Africa, Asia, and Europe there. And each region, they give you a number for year 2000 and year 2030, right? So I'm going to have a vertically up with the Africa and use two different color. I use blue for year 2000. I use red for 2030. So I would plot those 2 points. One is 700. Sorry. Did I do that right? Hold on. 750. I'm a little bit off. So it should be a little bit higher. And then 1250, I use another color. So, and then this one would be 3700, 4010. Again, use two different color for the two different years. And the last one would be 510 and 590. So I connect all the dots for year 2000. I connect all the dots for year 2030. So it showed the double line graph with two different colors. So I can compare the population over time for these three regions. And the reason we use the double line graph because this is a good kind of graph to compare two sets of data over a period of time. Are we okay for number 7? Okay, so we're going to need to practice a little bit to do well on this kind of graph. Number 8, somebody's doing number 8. Who's doing number 8? Can you come up here, please? So number 8 is finding area of the shaded ones. Number 9 is going to be doing the missing line. So when she's ready, I'm going to move out of here.
So I just did mine on the actual paper, so sorry if my handwriting isn't the best. But in order to find the shaded area of this rectangle, you're going to have to find the area for both the big rectangle and the small rectangle, and the way you do that is by multiplying the length times width. Now, I believe 12 would be the length and an 8 would be the width. Same here. So 12 by 8, that would be 86 units, and 5 by 3, that'd be 15 units. And in order to find the shaded area is that you would subtract both totals, which would be 96 minus 15 would give you 81 units squared.
All right, thank you. Okay. So I want to add one more thing. So when you do this one, I also want you to sketch the two shapes. So normally for college student, you don't really need it, but you plan to be elementary school student, elementary level teacher, so that usually help the student visualize it a little bit better. So I would suggest to actually sketch the big rectangle and subtract the smaller rectangle and show all the steps which she has, and then she also have the unit square. So if I have centimeter or inches, you may want to say that, but if not, just put unit square or unit there would be fine. Okay, who's doing number 9? Jasmine. So number 9 is a white triangle, and then we give you two sides. Want you to find the missing one, and I could have a missing one on A and B or C. Okay, so make sure you know how to identify which one is A, B, or C.
To identify which side is missing, you just, for the triangle, you try to find the right triangle, and then those, you'll know like if it's A, B, like whichever, they don't matter. And then the long side, the long side is the C side.
Okay.
And our formula is A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So we know that I just put A equals 36 and then B is 27, and then I put them under. I put 36 squared plus 27 squared equals C squared, and then I put them in the calculator. It's 1,296 plus 729 equals C squared, which is 2,025 equals C squared, and then I just square root them, and then it just C equals 45.
All right, thank you. All right, so When I was grading the quiz or the homework, one of the things is people plug it in wrong and identify the psi or the C incorrectly. So one of the things to help you to identify C, like she said, is what? C need to be the longest one and also opposite of the right angle. So this make sure this is a C, so you plug in appropriately. Normally when you take square root of both sides, it comes with plus and minus. That's the appropriate algebra, because the negative 45 square will also equal to that. But because we are looking for length, so the negative number doesn't apply here. If I give you a question that need to find the C, so I'll say this is a different question, and I have 36 here and 45 here, and I need to find this. So then what would I do? Again, we're going to do a squared plus b squared equal to c squared. A can be 36 perfect square plus, this time we don't know, b squared equal to 45 square. Some of you just ignore the square, that's not okay, okay? 36 square is what? Anybody have a calculator? 36 times 36 is 1296 plus a b square, 45 square. 2025, okay? And then how do I solve for b? Subtract 1296 to both sides, which will give me 729. To solve for b, we will take square root both sides, plus minus. Square root of 729 would be 27. Because it's length, just positive, right? Units. Are we okay with that? All right. So nobody signed up the West. Anybody else want to show us what they have before I take over? What else do we have? Number 10 is changing 80 degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit. Number 11 is 150 degrees Fahrenheit to Celsius. How do I do those? Use your formula. What is the first formula? F equal to 9 over 5c plus 32. So we plug in 80, or you can do 80 over 1 plus 32. Make sure you follow the order of operation, meaning we will do the multiplication and division first. It looks like I can reduce 5 times 1 and 5 times 16. 9 times 16 is, good job. Okay, add the 2 together, we got, you're on fire. Okay. All right, so finally we just write the answer. 80 degrees 80 degrees Celsius equal to 176 degrees Fahrenheit. So we okay? The other formula will be C equal to 5 over 9F minus 32 degree, and we will give you those formulas. So plug in what? 150 degree, subtract 32 is going to be 118. Do you have the answer already? Okay, all right. I thought you did the mental math. All right, so you need to multiply the top and divide it by 9. What do we get?
590. 60.
Oh, okay. The final answer. 65.5 repeating. So if I want 2 decimal places, 56 degrees Celsius. So this one will be 150 degrees Fahrenheit equal to 65.56 degrees Celsius. So we okay with that? Okay, the last two I want to show you as examples, as some of you still not very good at it. 13 and 14. 13 is what? What is 12? Oh, somehow I don't have a 12 there. Okay. 13 is 2,000 mile per hour to feet per second. So when you do questions like this, I want you to list the things that you use for that. What am I going to use? I'm going to need 1 mile equal to 5280 feet. What else do I need? Okay, 1 minute is 60 seconds, I heard, and then 60 minutes equal to 1 hour, or 1 hour equal to 60 minutes, either way. So this is the part a lot of you miss. What does this number mean? 2,000 miles per what? How many hours? 1 hour. So I don't know why, but this was a problem on the quiz. So this means 2,000 miles per 1 hour. This is the special kind of weight, right? It's 2 different units. The second one is 1 unit. Okay, meaning I need to get rid of the what? Miles. So miles need to go where? At the bottom, so they can cancel, right? Are we okay? And then 1 miles equal to 5280 feet, right? So that's how we can get rid of mile, right? And get the feet, right? Okay, do I need hour? No, hour is at the bottom, so it needs to go to the top. So 1 hour equal to 60 minutes. Do you see how I do that? Okay, so this time the hour can go, right? Do I need minutes? No, so minute need to go because minutes is at the bottom, so now it need to go to the top. 1 minute is 60 seconds, so that's how I can get rid of the minute, right? And then I will end up with seconds, right? Are we okay? So now on top we have 2,000, need to multiply to 5280 times 1 times 1, it will end up with feet, right? At the bottom I have 1 times 60 times 60, this will end up with seconds. So multiply the top, divide whatever at the bottom for me, please. That would give me the answer of what? 2933.33 feet per second. Anybody second that? 2,000 mile per hour is equivalent to 2,933.33 feet per second. Are we okay? Question for this. Okay, number 14. I know I haven't done any of the angle and corresponding angle, vertical angle, but this is on your quiz 4, 5, and 6, right? Make sure you review those. Like some of the question may be going back to exam 3. The last one we have is 300 feet per second to miles per hour, right? So pretty similar to the things that you're gonna need. It's going to be 1 mile is going to be 5280 feet again. 1 hour is 60 minutes. 1 minute is 60 seconds. Is it okay? So you list the things that you're going to use. But the first thing we write here is what? 300 feet per 1 second at the bottom, right? I need to get rid of the feet, so feet go to the bottom. Top we have miles. 1 mile is the same as okay, and then what else need to go? seconds. Go to the top because the original one is at the bottom, right? So how many seconds? 60 seconds is the same as 1 minute. Okay, so second is gone. What else I need to go? The minute at the bottom, so this time will be 1 minute is the same as 60 seconds. So the minute's gone. So we will end up with miles. I'm sorry, second is gone. So the what? Something's wrong. I did something wrong. What is it? I need minutes gone, but I don't. Yes, because I don't need second, right? So I need to change that to what? I need minutes gone. I need to keep what? Hour. So how many minutes? 60 minutes is the same as 1 hour. So you can make a mistake, but you have to like fix it before the final answer, right? So minutes need to go. Let's see, second gone, minute gone, keep hour, right? That's what I want, right? So it could make a mistake somewhere, you just need to fix it. So now on top we have 300 times 1 times 60 times 60, end up with mile. At the bottom is 1 times 5280 times 1, end up with hour. So the top I have 1080000. At the bottom I have 5280. This is hour. This is miles. Anybody have the final answer?
2,400.
Which one? Okay, they're checking. Somebody check it. Which one is it? Two hundreds. 4.55. This is in. That's very important. Miles per hour. So 204.55. So I'm gonna have this video edited, upload to D2L today, so you can watch it again if you need to check some of the answer. I have 2 things I need you to do. I have 1 minute now. I think they posted the evaluations. So I'm going to send you an email with the link. Please help me to do it because my department has said like the number is low. He was not happy when I met him in the spring. But I'm counting on you guys. I think you guys will do it. So please help me to do the course evaluation. I will send you an email with the link. I will save this video, try to process it today and upload it to D2L and also email it, but it's emailed to your MyLeo for most people unless she changed it to Gmail somehow. So make sure you check either on D2L or your MyLeo emails to access the video if you need it. Can I follow? I don't know how you do. If you can do every single question on this handout, I think you will be in pretty good shape. But the other thicker one with the solution, you can use it as extra practice, okay? All right, try your best. We only have 2 weeks and final, so hope you will do well. Have a nice day. If you come in late and you have questions, stick around. I'll try to help.